Hi everybody, my name is Christopher and I have schizoaffective disorder bipolar type. Schizoaffective disorder bipolar type is when you have symptoms of schizophrenia and bipolar disorder combined. So I have symptoms of schizophrenia like delusions, occasional hallucinations, a lot of paranoia, flat affect, stuff like that. And then bipolar symptoms, I get depressive and manic episodes. I was diagnosed with schizoaffective disorder in on June 16th of this year, 2025. And I want to talk a little bit about that. If you see me looking down, I just have notes on my phone so I don't forget certain things to say. So I want to give just examples of a few things I experience with the schizophrenia side. So I want to explain a hallucination that I have. I don't get the typical hallucinations very often. Like, I've had visual ones in the past, I've had auditory ones in the past, but that's not my everyday kind of experience. I am more on the somatic hallucination side, so I get a hallucination where I feel like there's an earthquake happening under me. So I feel my body move, I feel the house move, and occasionally I can see the windows and the walls moving as well. And it just feels like there's an earthquake happening right under me, even though there isn't. So that's an example of a hallucination I have. I've also had the experience of feeling like there's bugs crawling on my skin. An example of a delusion that I have, or that I've had in the past, is thinking that the drones that were all over the news were happening. I was a pawn in their game, and they were going to hurt me. And so I didn't leave the house for 2 weeks. In that 2 weeks, my meds kicked in, and at the end of that time period, I was able to realize that the drones were not after me, so I was able to leave the house again. But while I was in that 2 week period, I was very concerned about the drones. I was having nightmares about them. I was very convinced that they were out to get me. An example of paranoia is I am constantly thinking there's somebody in the house to murder me at night. So, like, they'll come in the house at night to murder me in my sleep. And it's gotten to the point where I've woken my mom up at midnight to tell her that people are in the house to kill me. And I've also snuck around the house with a flashlight in attempts to catch the murderer, with no solid plan on what I was going to do when I actually caught them, but I felt the need to catch them anyway. So that's an example of paranoia for me, and you might say, why don't you just call the cops if you think someone's in your house to kill you? Well, I also have paranoia around cops, so I will never call them for anything. So that is an issue in and of itself. As far as the bipolar side goes, I have episodes of depression and mania. I'm actually currently stable in my mood, but not in my psychosis, because the paranoia is every day. So when I'm depressed, I'm really low mood, I'm irritable, I'm sleeping more, I tend to have self-harm and suicidal urges or actions. I almost always get put inpatient. And then when it comes to mania, I'm really restless, I'm agitated, also irritable, I can't sit still, I'm talking a lot, I have a lot of energy, I'm not sleeping well. And so with my schizoaffective, sometimes those symptoms happen at the same time, like the delusions, hallucinations, paranoia, as at the same time as a depressive or a manic episode. But for it to be schizoaffective disorder and not bipolar with psychosis, you have to have psychosis for at least 2 weeks outside of a manic or depressive episode, which is what happens with me. I'm paranoid literally every day, pretty much all day. And the only reason I can tell you that I'm paranoid is I've been working with my therapist on identifying the difference between anxiety and paranoia. For a very long time, I could not tell you the difference. I was always saying I'm anxious when actually the word should have been paranoid. I even came to the realization that I've had paranoia since I was like 11 years old. And so it's not something new for me. It's just something that I always said was anxiety when it technically wasn't. So yeah, I guess that is just like this in a nutshell for me. But thank you for watching, and I will talk to you all another time.